Have you guys ever watched The Mill by Sean O'Grady? Basically, it's a movie about a guy named Joe. He's like a middle manager. He works for a company called Mallard Corporation. Anyway, it starts off with him waking up in an open air like prison. He has to push this wheelstone so many rotations per day, along with a bunch of other folks. But they're all isolated in separate rooms. Actually, the rooms are like an open air prison, and it's run by a machine that runs on a logarithm. Anyway, he ends up escaping, but not really. He ends up in upper management, still within the company, and has to do another task for the company in this small ass office, never to escape the endless tasks. At the end, he looks at the camera and says he's going to burn it down. It really wasn't a good movie, but it made me think. That's the kind of like what we do. Day in and day out, we work for a multitude of tasks, for a system with endless consumption. And for what? Each day, at least in America, they send you endless bits of fear. Terrorists coming to get you, illegal immigrants coming for your job. If you stop consuming, then the country will go into a recession. Constant advertising on your television, on your phone, billboards on the streets, big tech conglomerates controlling your food, clothes, logistics, film, etc. It's also the same working for the government. You spend 8 hours a day or more completing tasks that at the end of the day don't mean a thing. Now, children of the future, or I should say your replacement, will be doing these same tasks. Purchasing a bunch of junk that they don't need, endless consumption. But if you don't consume or don't make money, the boogeyman will take everything from you. The crazy thing is, the boogeyman isn't a terrorist or an illegal immigrant. He is a fellow American. Here, we're supposedly intelligent beings with free will, brought here by God, supposedly, for a purpose. We could be doing much more. Yet, we are bound by weakness of imagination, weakness of love for fellow human beings, weakness of failure to take care of a planet that has brought us life. Kind of like a teenager that thinks they know more than their mother and father. A weakness to continue to be slaves to a system. For some of us, this system brings comfort, kind of like old Joe when he gets out of the mill and got to higher management with the computer, but yet had to complete tasks. The crazy thing is, no other being lives like this. Sure, they may be territorial, but they are free to move about the earth as they please. Eat the food that is for free. On a greater scale, each being has a purpose. They work within this body called Earth, and each function to keep the Earth in a perfect balance. We too should be working to keep things in balance. But instead, we have placed ourselves in like golden chains. For the few, chains are comfortable. For others, they are hard and unforgiving. Movies like movies like these continue to warn us about we don't seem to either take heed or can't find a way out. Kind of like a domesticated dog. If you let it out in the wild, it would die. Many people couldn't survive without this system. I include myself. I was never taught to grow my own food and survive, outside of the system. I was taught to work hard, get a good job. I figured if I made 100,000, I would be good to go. But that's not the case. The system always raises the bar. 100K today isn't 100K of years past. In some states, you will live paycheck to paycheck. To place a roof over your head, you have to pay more than quadruple your yearly income. Median rent was under 10% of overall income and now is closing in on 40% of income or more. Growing up, I never heard of my parents complaining about gas prices. Yet year by year, gas prices have went up. I remember the last time it was under $1. The final day, people were lined up at one of the last gas stations in Seattle that had gas for like 98 cents a gallon before it went over $1 the next day. We were in line for over 40 minutes. I remember in the 90s getting a burger from Burger King for $1, a taco from Taco Bell for 99 cents. You can't even get a pack of gum for under $1 now. We gather resources from all over the world, and yet there is a continued pressure for more. Like the movie, you have to continue to push the stone mill. An endless drudgery while the logarithm continues to push you. If it can't, then your fellow citizens will. When you think you have it beat, it adds another layer. There are layers to this game. It utilizes everything to trap you physically and mentally. You have to escape the trap. What escape looks like is up to you. But to burn it down would mean chaos and death at a large scale. If you want to truly escape the system, we would have to do it together. It would take great sacrifice, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Many would perish. There would be many deceivers. We would have to create a whole new system. The question is, what would that system be? Maybe you can answer down below in the comments. I know for me, one of the escapes is to put it out what I want and when I want on this YouTube. It's hard not to look at my meager views and not want to quit, but I keep on moving because I want to try to help people without being moved by a stupid logarithm. Anyway, that's all I have. Peace.